And good, ready to get going. Doing great. Thank you. It's a beautiful day out here on Lake Washington. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. So you guys go ahead and start things off.
So we've heard a lot about how up-tempo you're going to try and keep this offense. How big of an emphasis has that been the first 2 days of padded practice?
I think it's just part of everything we do. You know, tempo means a lot of different things, but to me, it's the tempo in which we're practicing, how fast we're transitioning in and out of drills, how quickly we're getting in and out of our routes, how quickly we're getting in and out of the huddle, how fast we can play, how much pressure can we put on ourselves in practice to just be in that up-tempo mindset all the time.
How different has it been scheming and installing plays for Russell Wilson and all those years that you had with Jared Goff?
I think every quarterback has little differences in their games. Both guys have played at an elite level in this league. You know, being around Russell, it's been nothing but awesome, right? I mean, this guy is nonstop ball. He wants it all day, every day. You know, starting from the time you walk in the building till the time you leave, he's ready to keep taking in more and more information. Wants to learn everything he can about every part of the offense. And he has such a great history in different systems, different places he's played, and he remembers everything from Pop Warner all the way through last year. So it's been a great chance to get around him, get to know him, and just appreciate what a hard worker he is, what a great competitive mindset he has, and then being able to interact more and more now that we're out on the field here and getting together more and more and getting on the same page every day.
How excited are you to be able to call plays and kind of know each week you're going to be the guy doing that and everything?
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, this is it's been a goal of mine for a long, long time, and I've been lucky enough to be in some places, especially my most recent stop with Sean McVay, who did such a great job letting me continue to grow and develop as an assistant coach when I was there, and getting some different opportunities along the way to help me prepare for this moment. It's a moment, like I said, I've been preparing for this moment my whole life, and I'm excited to get the opportunity.
What is the biggest challenge when you become that guy who you know you have that responsibility?
Sure, and you hear it. I think, you know, the time management, right? The day-to-day time management when you go from coaching a position to maybe overseeing certain parts of the offense to being part of the whole thing. And we have a ton of unbelievable assistant coaches, so it's just a matter of being respectful of their time so we can be an efficient staff, working well together, and it's been nothing but positive. But for the challenging part for me, just that day in and day out, making sure I'm doing a great job with my time management so we're nice and efficient, so when we come out here, we have a good product every day at practice.
Going to be so new to defenses earlier in the season. How do you keep the defense on their toes later in the season when they start getting film on you guys and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think there's always a constant evolution of an offense that goes on throughout a season, and really that's based around the players. You know, and in the NFL, it's a player's game. So depending on what players are playing well, different points, hey, what can they do, different ways you can utilize guys, different strengths and different skill sets as the season goes on. I think it's important to keep a pulse around the league, around different aspects of college football. If there's things that fit, you know, we know it's a copycat league. Football is a copycat game in general, but it also has to fit within the system that you're running, and you have to have the people that have the ability to execute those different things. But I just think having a pulse of, hey, has something run its course? You know, defenses are unbelievable. You know, even that, you know, Ken Norton does such an unbelievable job. You see it out here at practice. You know, there's not too many times you can really get away with the same thing twice out of practice without them, you know, DBs doing an unbelievable job of whether it's pattern matching it. You know, Bobby Wagner's out here recognizing runs, you know, at the drop of a hat. So it keeps me on my toes in practice. It's some great learning opportunities already with how hard they play and how quickly they pick up on things. So to me, that's a great transition to, as the season goes on, you know, what do we have next? You know, what's ready for the next week? How do we keep it fresh? How do we keep it moving forward?
We've been hearing from players for a while about how there's going to be more emphasis on short and intermediate throws. How is that part of the offense coming along?
Yeah, I think to me it's just part of having a balanced offense. You know, having a balanced offense, which doesn't mean we're conservative and say dink and dunk all the time, but you know, when are those right opportunities to take completions, having that completion play mindset, and then moving forward to the next play. So just having that good balance as part of our system grows, and you know, week to week there's different things that present themselves from a defense. So whatever that is that we can take advantage of that week, we'll like to try to do that.
You mentioned Bobby Wagner. You spent years scheming against him, and now that you're seeing him every day, what have been your impressions of him?
I mean, more unbelievable in practice. You know, just the way. You know, it's no surprise with who the great players in the league are, right? And then when you're around them, you get a chance to be in person with some of these guys. and Bobby's right at the top of the list. Come in, you think you're getting here early most days, beating most players. I mean, I've seen his car in the parking lot bright and early in training camp a couple times now. So, no one's out working him. And again, it just shows up. His practice preparation, his mental preparation, the way he handles himself, he's a true pro, and it translates right out onto the field. And, his tapes his resume as far as on Sundays, what he's already been able to do.
You described as even keeled by a few different people. Is that sort of an important thing on game day? I mean, not every play call not every call is going to work, right?
Oh yes, no, and it fits right into practice too. I think an important part for me, and I keep wanting to have some self-talk throughout practices and throughout games because there are ebbs and flows. And I think the important part is not letting the emotions overtake what you're trying to get done. So just having that nice even keeled demeanor. It's the NFL. Everybody's good, So defense is going to make plays from time to time, and it's a matter of really bouncing back, playing the next play. We tell our players it all the time, and I think it's also our jobs as coaches to really maintain that same demeanor that we're asking them to do.
Heard from players about you. How does it feel to be a rock star?
I don't know about that. Far from that. Hey, maybe Eddie Vedder out here, but not me.
You guys called this a running back friendly offense. Is that a fair description of it? What does that mean?
Yeah, I think, one thing I'll say right away, with Chad Morton and the group of running backs and what they've been able to demonstrate so far, talking about a lot of guys that have had a lot of great reps already, from Chris, from DJ, from Penny, all the way down, the whole crew. Alex has done an unbelievable job. Josh has done a great job. I mean, we got guys top to bottom. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody right there. But all 6 of those guys, I know we've got Travis is waiting to get out there as well. So just done a great job of really buying in, trusting in the system. And then most importantly, I think those guys up front, have done such a good job of really understanding, hey, what are we trying to do right away? And then being in that good unison with the running backs. I think it's been a good thing so far. And those guys that are coaching those positions, Mike Solari and Andy Dickerson and Khalil, have done just such a great job of getting everyone bought in early so that we can get as many reps and stack as many reps as we can throughout camp to get where we want to be.
How do you feel like your experience with Sean will help you as a first-time play caller?
Just being around him again, just seeing how fast he can see the game, how quickly he's able to react to different situations, and then he had such a great trust in his coaches and just in his preparation that he was able to I think always feel like he was one step ahead of the defense, one step ahead of the game, and just being able to learn how his mind operated, and he did such a great job. And like I said, I just thought it was so great to be around him because he let me do so many different things to prepare for this role that I'm in today as we're going through different off seasons and different things that way, but just really letting his assistants grow as coaches.
Can you relay the play calls to the quarterback?
I did not.
You plan on calling stuff from the booth or on the field?
We're going to keep working through that. No, we're going to we'll go on the field to start. Think about going in the booth. I think really, in my mind, it's what's best for our team. So we're going to look at a couple of different things in terms of these what's coming up here, and make a good final decision as the season approaches.
You were part of some offenses that consistently were pretty good at preventing sacks. Fans might just look at sack numbers and think, oh, the offensive line. But how much can you, as a play caller and a scheme, help reduce that number?
Yeah, I think to me that takes everybody, right? It takes the play caller, it takes the scheme that we're running, it takes the players, and it's never, to me, the sacks are never just on one specific thing, right? We've got a lot of different things that go into it. You look at different sacks throughout the league, throughout each game. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So biggest thing we're trying to do here is just limit the times that we're on the ground, but also not limit the explosiveness that can be created with some of these off-schedule plays.
Pete was really impressed with how Sean Mannion picked up the playbook. How has your familiarity with him helped him jump into this role with the Seahawks, and how do you feel like he's grown since you guys were in LA?
Yeah, Sean did a great job for us when we were in LA, and then getting him over here. He's obviously been in Minnesota most recently, some similarities and some different systems, but he's just such a smart guy overall that I think you could put him in any offense in the world and he's going to pick it up. Maybe 2 days on some, but most of the times, probably that first meeting, Sean's going to have the system locked down and then just go ahead and continue to grow and get those live reps on the field. But he's done a great job. It's great to have him back around.
The offense had 2 picks today. How does that kind of your demeanor even
How much
Hey, that's my first test right there, because we know nothing's more important than the ball, right? But there's those ebbs and flows in the practice. Like I said, the defense is doing a great job. They're making us better by their approach every single day. I mean, these guys are chasing us 50 yards down the field, punching at the ball, just making us work so hard throughout the course of every practice. And they've had a few tips, and sometimes those tips, you never know which way they go. Today they went their way, but we'll bounce back the next day and be ready to take care of the ball, knowing, hey, it's the number one priority, and it's the number one priority in the league.
What's football like at, if I said the name right, Buckingham Brown and Nichols School?
Oh, hey, it's had a good stop there. It's great, man. Mike Willie, the head coach there, has done an unbelievable job building a program that was really started by John Pappas, who I've been friends with for a long time, and was one of my assistant coaches at Tufts. So they've done an unbelievable job of just building a great program at a great school there outside of Boston.
Why was it important to bring Andy up with you, and how has he helped you?
Sorry.
Why was it important to bring Andy up with you, and how has he helped you in the transition and the rest of
Oh yeah, no, I think it was great because, like I said, there's a lot of great coaches that have been here, and there's nuances, different things we want to do, and bringing Andy along with me, we've been friends obviously for a long time, but I think there's a lot of friends in coaching, but you also have to have that trust in that person as a coach, and I think Andy's done an excellent job every stop he's been, especially most recently we were able to get back together in LA. So it was great to have someone come in here with some familiarity to different things I've been exposed to, and then it's been a great experience just getting that to mix with all the other staff members that have been here, for different stints throughout the Seahawks, throughout their Seahawks tenure.
What's the personality tandem like with DJ and Tyler? I mean, now that you've gotten more time with them, different guys, but take us behind the scenes a little bit, the fun they have together.
Yeah, I think they have fun. The cool thing with those guys is off the field, man, easy going, joking around a little bit. They walk out on the grass and they're locked in. They're ready to work. It showed itself, yesterday, Tyler's first rep of one-on-ones. I mean, he's focused, ready to go, and rolling right from the start. So, just being around those guys, maybe different personalities, maybe different body types, but they can get the same thing done, which is they can get open and they can be explosive playmakers on the outside.
Anything else? Thank you.
Good? All right. Appreciate it.